Hey.
Hello.
Why are you wearing my shirt?
It's my laundry.
Literally. I need to do laundry. It's nice to finally move some wheat, get these bins cleaned out so we're getting ready for harvest. Yeah, there's been a lot of work for us to do, but like I said, you just keep pushing forward and you keep doing what's necessary, and as long as you have an end goal in mind, things will work out, things will happen. This whole little project over here of cleaning up, well, not this thing because it needs to be cleaned up, but all this right here is gonna have to be put on hold because, well, we got other things to do. It's kind of a side project that I want to clean up. For years now, I've been cleaning on this farm, and slowly each year it just keeps on getting that much more. If you guys saw what this place was like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you'd be like, wow, things have changed a lot. And that's the thing, is hopefully each year that goes by, you can say there's been an improvement. There's been something new that's been good for this farm, healthy for this farm, for the next generation that's gonna take over. And so they don't have to deal with it, they don't have to mess with it. And whoever that next generation is, hopefully they are able to take care of it and move that much more in the future for the next generation. We're looking for the future, and we want to make sure that there's something here for the future. Granted, things can change. I mean, there's a lot of unpredictable things that happen, and sometimes you could do everything in your power to try to do what's right, and things just happen where it's taken away from you. And it's not always your fault, but sometimes there's decisions that could be, you know, you got yourself in a pickle. But hopefully we don't ever have that happen for the next generation. But these things here, I want it moved. And these 3 bins, we're kind of talking about taking one of the bins, splitting it in half, put the 2 bins on each half, and then that way you get 2 out of the 3, and you'll have to add stiffeners because the side walls aren't very thick, but that's for another day. We got to start building this up a little bit more with some shale or some hard packed ground, get it ready so we can start getting some forms and pour the cement and or pour the concrete, my bad. I never thought when I found that truck on Facebook Marketplace, I never thought that that would be our best looking truck and our cleanest looking truck and our most prized looking truck. And thanks to you guys, we have a very sharp looking old school truck. And there's a lot of things on it that are still like worn down, and like the interior, there's places that need to be replaced and things, but at the same time too, it's kind of nice to have that old school, you know, look to it. I mean, it's been used in areas, and I like that, and I don't want to change that because that just gives it that rustic old feel from 1986. Yeah. Now, these are about close to 8,000 bushel bins here, 24-foot diameter, and we got a few of them down this way. Yeah, there's a couple. One thing we're gonna do is we want to try to move a bunch of bushels right now while the elevator's open. So we're not gonna suck out the bottoms when we open the door. We're just gonna leave it because it takes forever to clean out the bottom of these bins with this grain vac. Every time you add a suction of grain vac tube, like they're 7-inch diameter, and you add a foot, 2 feet, 15 feet, it takes that much more force to try to pull that grain through that tube, which means it's slower, so you can't have a lot of volume. So the closer you can get that grain vac to the bin here, it's the faster it's gonna move through that grain vac and fill the trucks. Well, after the elevator is shut down, like 5 o'clock or so, we can take the grain vac, move it back to this bin here, and 3 hours or so, we can have it unloaded in the trucks and it's ready to go next morning. So we'll do that in the morning, but right now we move to the next bin because we want bushels hauled. Yeah, that means I gotta get going, right? By the way, guys, if you haven't visited pipes.com, I think it is, they set us up with these stacks, and I think they did a fantastic job on how they built them, how they welded them together, the elbows, everything. It just makes this truck look beautiful, and it sounds pretty good too. So you check out those guys if you don't mind. All right, let's get moving.
Just finished loading spring wheat in the truck. This is my first load. Scott's already got a couple loads in. Are you ready to roll, Kobe? Yeah, he is. All right, let's get this load to town.
The grain elevator is closing in a few minutes, probably in about 15 minutes or so. There's no way I could finish one of those bins over there and fill in the truck. Because we thought ahead and we said, you know what, let's just get a bunch of bushels hauled today, we didn't clean these bottoms out. Now, since the grain elevator is closed, we're gonna take that grain back and we're gonna start cleaning the bottoms out, which is gonna take a lot longer. But then that way, the trucks are full and ready for the morning, and we've actually gained more bushels today than we would have spending time trying to unload these bins. So I'm gonna take this tractor, disconnect it from that bin because we're not down to the door yet. And I'm gonna come over to this one, start cleaning it out, go get the other truck, clean it out, and I have to go get our number 3 truck because, well, it'd be nice to get extra bushels hauled. So we'll just kind of do one step at a time. Fill the 9370, the blue Peterbilt, and then the red Peterbilt. Let's get to work. Awesome, we got it done. Hey-oh! 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 I think that's how it goes. Let's see, hang on, do I know another song? Walk down that lonesome road all by yourself. Don't turn your head back over your shoulders, and only stop to rest yourself when the silver moon is shining high above the trees. All right. Let's get back to work. So the International and blue Peterbilt is filled up. We're gonna do something a little different here. The tractor needs a little bit of fuel anyways, so we're gonna run it back to the home place, put some fuel in it, but we still have those cleanings that are in that pup trailer from earlier this year when we cleaned the seed. And they're just a lot of small kernels and unsized kernels, a few unthrashed kernels. And so we're gonna auger that back into the red Peterbilt instead of hooking onto the pup. And then we'll bring the Peterbilt back over here with the tractor that's filled up, and then we'll fill the red Peterbilt. And then that way we have 3 semis ready to go in town and yeah, make a little bit more, I like to say, progress. On a side note, I've only eaten once today. That was a nice, wonderful, lovely bowl of Captain Crunch. I don't usually eat breakfast in the morning, but it just kind of sounded good. And don't be judging me, you millennials, Frosted Flake haters. I like Frosted Flakes too, so yeah, don't be judging. The other thing too is getting like 6, 7 o'clock at night, maybe closer to 8. We still have some work to do, and I'm getting kind of hungry. I decided to just not eat at noon and just keep going. We got stuff to do.
Got a little bit of wind noise here. I'm loading my second load of spring wheat, and I'm standing in a field of spring wheat. Real good stand. Have some wild oats scattered around in there that we'll have to spray out when we spray the broadleaves. This was pea ground last year, yellow pea ground. So we'll see kind of how the recropping works. Of course, it all depends on how much rain we get. That's the big determining here. We've got a lot of moisture to go into this month of June. I'm walking backwards because I don't want to overflow the truck. I got it on the back end, and then I'll be backing it up. I have a camera inside there, so I'm going to sit in the cab and just keep backing it up as it's filling. Kobe, I asked him to watch, but I didn't make it clear what to watch. Good day. Lots of work getting done. There's some spraying happening. We have a busy month. Some things, cool things coming up that'll be on the channel here. All right, let's get this loaded.
Good morning. All right. Well, we are making a little bit of progress. We got all 3 trucks running into the elevator right now. We have Wiggles. He came back to help us out for a little bit on trucking. And my dad's running the red Peterbilt. He's got a bolt in his tire, so we put enough air in it to keep it aired up, but he's gonna take it over, get it fixed. And because yesterday was such a productive day, we made a tremendous amount of loads into that grain elevator that we probably won't be able to use the red Peterbilt much today. And the reason for is the turnaround rate was so fast when the trucks were heading back to the grain bin to fill up. There was only like 3 minutes or 5 minutes at the very max before a truck pulled up to the grain back. So it doesn't really make much sense for the red Peterbilt to just be sitting there, or one of these trucks to be sitting there. So we'll just run 2 trucks a day. At least that's the idea. Maybe things will change, but yeah, we're gonna go from there. But heading down the big hill, which is actually not a very big hill, but I'm just about to drop down to the grain elevator. Then we can empty these trucks and make a little bit more progress today. Awesome. Hey, what are you doing in my truck?
Yeah, that's my truck.
I guess it's his truck. I'll take the red or blue Peterbilt. I kind of miss this thing already, don't you? I mean, you gotta have the nicest truck, right? Which is this one right here, right? No, it's not. That's the nicer truck. It's okay though. He's working hard. He deserves it. Sweet. And away we go. Making sure I'm not running over any kittens or like people. They actually have a pretty sweet cat here in this elevator, and somehow they adopted it. I don't know really the story how it became, well, situated in this elevator, but that cat is old. I mean, it's been around so long, almost longer than me. So it's always kind of fun to see that cat walking in and out, let it do its thing. I'm amazed that cat has not gotten ran over. And if it has 9 lives, well, it's used 8 of them. All right, let's get back to hauling some grain.
We've got 5 loads total in this morning. They'll take another 5 loads, so then we'll probably have to shut down for a couple days until they can get grain moved. But anyway, are you enjoying this? Yeah, he's enjoying it. He loves it. The one question I gotta ask as we get closer to the farm is, Kobe, do you want to run? Huh? Really? All right. No. That's not what he normally does. He usually goes out my door. He bailed. So, it's still spring, so at least he's got a spring in his bounce. Compulsion. Got to do it.
9370's filled up. The other Blue Pete is already in Chester, and I'm gonna go over there and help him out a little bit. Awesome. Love this truck, by the way. Let's do this.
So it's a beautiful day in June, and there's work to do, a lot of work. And these guys have been hauling peas out of that building. We're close, there's not a lot left, so getting real close to doing that. But we got the call, and we have 25,000 bushels contracted of spring wheat that we got to get hauled in.
It's due this month, but they have a train coming in on Monday, which means we have like 3 days to haul it in. Well, technically it's the weekend and they're not open, so they really would like to have all the wheat that they can get today and tomorrow. So we got a lot of work to do, and we're gonna help them out because, well, it's nice to get it done with, that we don't have to worry about it, but they can get it and put it on the train and help them if there's a contract satisfied.
Normally that stuff would have been hauled during the winter, but because of the prices being in the slump, we just held off, and we finally found a point where we thought, okay, this is acceptable, we'll sell at this price. So now we're getting rid of it, and we need to get rid of it fast. So this is the cool part, guys. Check this out. We've got this thing. You don't know what that is? Well, let me tell you. This is a REM VR12 by AGI. It's a grain vac. And you guys know that we have that blue Brandt. That's a 5200 EX. That's rated at 5,200 bushels per hour at optimum conditions. That means like if it is like everything is perfect, it'll suck 5,200 bushels out of a bin or whatever you're pulling out of in an hour. This machine here is rated at 9,000 to 10,000 bushels per hour.
It's almost double the capacity.
And it's about the same size machine. This is perfectly convenient. So thank you, AGI. They gave us a great chance to use this because we're up against the clock. This thing has got the capacity, and we're gonna hook it up to the 7140 Magnum because we need more horsepower because the other John Deere is not gonna handle it.
Too is it gives us an opportunity to try a different brand to see, well, what other competitors are out there, like what do they have to offer. And we only know what we've ran, which is the Brandt 5200 EX. We've never experienced a REM before, and guess what? This is an opportunity, and you guys get to see a little bit of what we're doing. So
we're gonna pull some grain out of some bins fast. These things are so cool. They are. It's just a giant vacuum cleaner. For those who don't understand, it's basically a super vacuum. Yeah, it'll make good use of anything inside grain bins and pull out fast. So we're gonna get all three trucks going. We got Wiggles here, Wagster, Wiggly Wagster.
Yeah, there you go. That's
We got the Wiggly Wagster here, and lag arms, and I might be doing a little spraying, but I'll jump in a truck eventually here. Dad's just cruising around in the truck. He's just kind of waiting for us to get this thing ready so then he can get loaded up and go. So anyways, let's take a look at this thing.
So Nick has to run in town, get some chemicals so we can go spray because it's a beautiful day to go spray. Which means I've got to do a little bit of work. Not too much work. I just got to find a fit for this sucker right here. There we go, my bad. What should we hook onto that thing? Well, I'd say, let's try the 7140. You know, it's a red tractor, red grain vac. They should go together, right? No, the reason why we're using the 7140 instead of the 4520 is because the John Deere probably doesn't have enough horsepower to run it. And we know this Magnum tractor right here has enough horsepower. So let's jump into the case and go run it. Before I hook up to the grain vac, I'm gonna go put some fuel in this tractor, make sure it's topped off, because the fuel gauge on this tractor does not work. Well, it works, but it tells me it's half full and full at the same time. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. It's always done that ever since we've had it. So if I top off the fuel, I know I have a good day to run of this thing, and then tomorrow we'll put some more fuel in it, and yeah, should be good. All these loads going to Chester is happening fast. Love it. We have one load left, and then my dad will take that to Chester, finish that contract, and while he's doing that, we're switching over to Holland spring wheat. So I'll load him real quick, be done with the peas.